Welcome back to BrickWorld Therapy. Today we're going to be building this set and we will be talking about my first experience with a panic attack. Stay tuned. Alright, like I said, we're going to be talking about my first experience with a panic attack. What caused it, what situation I was in when it first started, how it built up to that point, and while we're doing that, we're going to be building this set, which is the Dr. Wu's lab. It has little baby dinosaurs. I'm excited about this one. So, let's get started. Alright, so my first experience with a panic attack happened to me when let's see, it was either 2008 or 2009, because I had just started going to college after I'd gotten out of the military, and I was stressing out. So I was in psychology and business, or in the workspace, I believe, so it may have been an actual psychology class. I was working on a paper for it. I was just finishing up some minor details before I was headed to class. I had plenty of time to do it. Nothing to stress out about. But while I was in the library of my school, I started stressing out a lot, and then slowly this is the only panic attack that I've had that's actually come on slow. It didn't hit really fast. This one slowly worked me up. I was getting emotional. I was getting a little bit stressed out. And then my hands started to shake a bit. I was getting worried because I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was just being a little bit emotional. Which is normal. I'd never felt the effects of a panic attack before. I'd never felt the tingling sensation, never had the shortness of breath. I honestly felt like something was seriously wrong with me. I thought that a lot of people will say that they feel like they're dying. I was stressing out. I didn't know what was wrong. I explained to my teacher. I went to my teacher and I told them that something was off, something didn't feel right. And I was scared. I told him genuinely I was scared. I didn't know what was happening. He knew that I'd been in the military. I hadn't been diagnosed with PTSD at that point. I had been diagnosed with some anxiety, but I hadn't been diagnosed with panic attacks yet. I'd never had one. All I had was social anxiety disorder. Basically, I was nervous in social situations. I don't like social situations, is what it came down to. But it was still the very beginning parts of that, and no one really explained to me what it could get to. They didn't explain that you could eventually have panic attacks doing simple things. So, surprise, I got to experience that while I was at school. So I talked to my teacher and he said just go home, which is kind of messed up because then he marked me for incomplete assignments because he didn't let me turn in my assignment either. So I ended up getting like 25% of my grade taken off for not being there, which was super great. The beginning of my downfall in my attempt at college. I attempted again, but my anxiety and PTSD got in the way again. Well, it made it more difficult, and I wasn't prepared for how difficult it made it for me. So can't say it's all PTSD fault, it's my fault too. It just made it more difficult, and I wasn't expecting how difficult it was going to be. Anyway, I was driving home, and at this point I wasn't in a full-blown panic attack. My anxiety was just really high. And so I was driving home, and then I started to breathe funny. My breath, I was like out of breath, like I just went for a run. and I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I was driving, I was driving from the southern end of the greater Seattle area. So to give you an idea, the traffic is atrocious any time of day. There's always people around. So I was driving in my car, a smaller car. It was an Aveo at the time. And I was driving, and there were cars all around me. And I don't really remember my drive home. I remember calling my grandmother. My grandmother and I had always been really close. I called my grandma because I didn't know who else to call at the time. And I explained to her what was going on, and I was so upset, so nervous. My anxiety was freaking out. I started to not be able to breathe normal. She tried to keep me calm as much as she could, which was amazing. Having her help me through that just by talking to me was wonderful. Sometimes you just need to call someone and have someone there to tell you, just calm down, it's gonna be all right, it's okay, there's nothing wrong, nothing is gonna hurt you, just focus on what you're doing. Because I didn't realize it at the time, but really leaving the school and attempting to drive was probably one of the most dangerous things in that situation that I could have done. And not because I can't focus while driving, but because driving is like second nature to me. But when you're having a panic attack, your mind and your body is almost not your own. And that is very, very frightening. And I mean, that's the only way I can really describe it, is your mind and your body are not really your own anymore. And the reactions that you have, you don't have control over, like 100% of your reactions. You can control a lot of things still, but you don't have all of your control. And I think that's probably one of the scarier parts. How are you folks liking these talks? Do you enjoy learning about my PTSD and the kind of situations that I dealt with? But does this help you at all? Does it help anybody like understand what a loved one might be going through if they have anxiety or panic attacks? I hope it does. I hope it helps some people. Even if it's just helping you understand why a friend of yours acts differently in certain situations. Like I said, it helps to have somebody there to talk to you. Someone that'll just listen. If you folks suffer from any anxiety or panic attacks or anything like that, let us know in the comments below what it is that really helps bring you back from them. I've actually created a website for people to share experiences or you know Lego builds if they want to do that. I also posted a subreddit under the exact same name as the channel called BrickWorld Therapy. I'm debating on whether or not to include regular arts, crafts, anything that is similar to Legos, that you use to actually help with anxiety. So I think it's great for anyone to use anything like this that would help them with their anxiety. I'm wanting to build a community to help people. And I think it's great to open up communications as far as what helps you, letting other people know what kind of methods that you've found, because honestly I never even thought Legos would help me. It never crossed my mind or anything. This was a total accident finding out that these helped me. These actually helped me talk for the video as well. It's not just, oh, I'm having a panic attack, I'm going to use this. It actually, when I talk about my experiences on the channel or when I'm shooting the video, this actually helps me not necessarily focus better, because I do still have horrible focus. I get distracted so easy. But this actually helps me stay calm while I'm talking about the experience.